All right, everybody. Welcome to this edition. Hey, look, we got a name change, guys. First of all, my name's Tim Black. My bad. Might be some new people watching. And welcome to Tim Black's No Sellout. My special recurring guest is none other than columnist, journalist, a prolific writer himself, a dazzling displayer of democracy, and a fighter for justice. H.A. Goodman. Give it up for my man, H.A. Goodman, y'all.
Thank you, Tim.
No problem, man. No problem, H.A. So how'd you like that intro, man? Was that did I play you up enough? I kiss your ass enough with that?
No, I loved it. I'm so happy. After being insulted every day by the Hillary bots, it feels good.
Yeah, you know, they do come for you, don't they, H.A.?
They come, but you know what? It actually is enjoyable. So one of the perks of of working so hard for Bernie is to annoy and piss off the Hillary bots, and that's just one of the fun things.
Yeah,
about this. Yeah. But thank you so much for this appearance, and I love your show as always, man. I thank you so much.
No doubt, man. It's like a natural fit, man, because my people just love your content. They love what you're about, and you know what it is? We're benefiting so much out of just being guys, being people who stick to their guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think, Tim, about? I know you talked about this. I did a segment recently also. What's your take on Elizabeth Warren and why she went ahead and basically? And by the way, I'll preface this with this, because if you're watching right now, you're watching this show. Two big, huge Bernie Sanders supporters. On my end, I will say, in my humble view, Hillary Clinton has less than 2,383 pledged delegates, and she has an ongoing FBI criminal investigation. Bernie's taking it to the convention. The New York Times just today or the other day said, hey, he's not conceding anything. Of course, the quote-unquote progressive media and a lot of people out there say, when's Bernie going to quit? He's not quitting. He has no reason to quit. So I'm going to preface that question that I'm asking Tim. But Tim, what do you think of Elizabeth Warren spending so much of the past couple of years championing the fact that Wall Street can tank the economy with too big to fail banks and greed and corruption, and then she endorses Hillary Clinton when she should have endorsed Bernie Sanders, who is the embodiment, personification of everything she said for the past couple of years. And then she goes, endorses a candidate under FBI criminal investigation, because when President Obama endorsed her, the White House press secretary actually stated categorically, it's a criminal investigation, and President Obama is going to stay neutral. But what do you think of Warren and the fact that she should have endorsed Bernie?
Well, I think that Elizabeth Warren, first of all, I'm trying to remember who she was, because she's dead to me now. You know, yeah. She's a ghost. She's like one of those walkers in the show Walking Dead. She no longer exists. And I think it really brings us the question, if she ever stood for what she stood for, or if she ever was seriously committed to progressivism, if she really was who she said she was. You know, I think we got a lot of imposters in our midst. These turncoats, these fair-weather friends. Once you betray your ideals or the ethics or your integrity or what you've held yourself out to be, you no longer are that person. You're another person. So maybe she's schizophrenic. I don't buy into this whole thing, H.A., that, well, you know, maybe she's being clever and it's all, you know, she's playing a game with Hillary. Yeah, you know, her idea is to, you know, say she'll be with Hillary, but really she's going to be covert. It's a double agent going on. Nah, I don't buy it, H.A. No. You know, I
don't either, because the thing is, number one, Hillary Clinton can't disclose the contents of a speech to Wall Street where she gets millions of dollars to speak. Now, Bernie Sanders, he speaks to hundreds of thousands of people. He wants people to know what the heck he's saying. Hillary Clinton, she can't disclose the contents of a speech because she probably told Wall Street, hey, I love you. We're going to bail you out. And it's everybody else. It's not the Wall Street firm. So that's what she probably told them. in terms of the money that she got, when she says that, when people say, Hillary supporters say, well, can you find a vote, a congressional vote? Congress never voted to break up the banks. So obviously there's no vote you can look at, and that's what they don't care about Dodd-Frank. So investment banks don't care about Dodd-Frank because Elizabeth Warren herself said in 2014 that Citigroup wrote part of an omnibus spending bill. So Citigroup was already writing laws even after Dodd-Frank. The only thing they care about is structural change. That's why Bernie is so feared.
Right.
He's going to change the system. They don't want systemic change. Systemic change that's it for them. I mean, they're done. When they have systemic change, they won't be too big to fail, and they won't be able to buy off politicians. So I'm with you on, I don't get what Warren is trying to do, because another quick thing, Hillary Clinton, she'll say, and Obama said this, Anderson Cooper said this, she'll say anything to get elected. Yeah. And she won't do anything. She won't change anything.
Nope.
So
that's the beauty of Hillary Clinton to all those corporations that want to stay in power, man. They love the incrementalism of Hillary Clinton, which is really a half a step forward and 2 steps back, and let's take a step forward and then pretend we didn't just take 2 steps back. I mean, that's what she does. So yeah, I know a lot of people have a lot of love for Elizabeth Warren, and I'm gonna be frank, man. I just say this: when she didn't come out for Bernie originally, AJ, I already was on board of saying, you know what, forget this lady, because, you know, I'm saying the proof is in the pudding. If you can't speak up when we need you, there's a reason. And you're right, AJ, about the transcripts. I mean, she should have at least had a condition. I mean, maybe I could have respected if she says, hey, my condition for supporting Hillary Clinton, she's met that condition, whatever that condition is.
Exactly.
At least have that.
Yeah, we don't even have that. We don't have anything.
Right.
We don't have, and the thing was, you know what? Nina Turner was 150% right. The other day, and this was in the Hill, the other day, Nina Turner said something profound. And she said, you're not going to get any points for a Twitter battle with Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the thing. When Elizabeth Warren has been reduced to a caricature of the average Hillary Clinton surrogate. So all they care about is, oh, did you see that Clinton told Trump to delete his account? Oh, that's amazing. You know, oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, my God, that's so great. And that's all they care about. I mean, here we are. We're trying to push for systemic change to ensure that we don't bail out failed Wall Street banks to the tune of trillions of dollars, to where the global economy doesn't tank again. And they're worried about a Twitter battle. And Elizabeth Warren, like you said, I mean, she stood for something, and then she caved in to everything she opposed without getting any guarantee back, without getting any kind of conciliatory gesture. So Hillary Clinton hasn't said one thing about breaking up banks because she doesn't want to do it. Hillary Clinton hasn't said one thing about reinstating Glass-Steagall. She doesn't want to do it. The only thing she talks about is, I think she tweeted, Clinton did something about, too big to fail bankers, they should go to jail if they deserve jail time or something like that. But she's getting money. Four of her top 5 donors in terms of industries come from investment banks. So
yeah, and what you said, HA, you're right. If Hillary Clinton is fixed on, how can I say this, man? If Hillary Clinton wants to actually, make this modification, I don't think she does. I don't think she wants to move anything towards the left. I think she wants to now sit on her location, which is a centrist. I think she's really a Republican. But you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Elizabeth Warren is a Pino. And a Pino is a progressive in name only. Because once your actions no longer are reflective of your rhetoric, no matter how sweet your rhetoric is, oh, I love the sound of this stuff, but when it's time to stand behind it, you're not standing behind it, so I got a problem with that.
Exactly. And what better way when you want to marginalize another opponent what better way than to take one of their champions, switch them on your side,
perfect,
take away any power they have, any voice they have.
Right.
And now she's reduced to calling Trump a bully and all these things. Yeah. Trump invited Bill and Hillary to his wedding. Trump goes golfing with Bill.
Right.
Trump gave money to the Clinton Foundation, $100,000. Trump gave money to Democrats, top Democrats throughout his life in New York. Okay. And they asked him why. He said, hey, I'm from New York. What am I going to waste my money on a Republican? So the thing is, it's like, this is not, when people talk about conspiracy theories, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. This is all happening right in front of us. There's no conspiracy. It's overt. I tell you what, my message, and I believe this, my message has always been from day one, we knew that it was going to be contested anyway. We knew that Bernie Sanders would go in. Right. Everyone said, and this media blitz is unbelievable. I mean, people, okay, that's it. Wrap it up. That's it. Oh, game over. No, that's it. We, as if we didn't know that, yeah, she would probably have more pledged delegates.
Right.
And the media said, oh, well, she had more pledged delegates, and now Bernie Sanders has to leave. He said 3 weeks ago, he's been saying for the past couple of months, it's a contested convention. She needs super delegates, which brings me to this, which is why I believe indictments are imminent. I know people think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, when she's relying on super delegates, guess who's a super delegate? Just recently, the other day, we found out that, and I can't make this up, Tim. I don't know if you read this story. I can't make this up. It was in CNN. Basically, she had an advisory board as Secretary of State, advising her on nuclear strategy and tactical nuclear weapons. She had a donor who was a commodities trader. A Chicago commodities trader, had no background in nuclear strategy.
Oh, yes. I did hear about this. Keep going, though. Yeah.
He got top secret clearance. He is a Democratic superdelegate, going to be in Philadelphia. And then people say it's not rigged. The guy was given a seat. And these nuclear physicists and these generals were like, what the hell is this guy doing on our advisory board, advising Clinton on tactical nuclear weapons?
His name is Rajiv Fernando.
Exactly.
That's it. Fake national security expert Rajiv Fernando.
and is a commodities expert. And so the thing is, tactical nuclear weapons are nuclear weapons used on the battlefield. These are actually nuclear weapons that you can use on the battlefield, different from an ICBM or a nuke that a submarine launches. Or what a bomber drops. These are small enough to use in a battlefield, and they kill tens of thousands of soldiers instead of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people at once. This guy, this commodities trader, is on an advisory board. He's given top secret clearance. Nobody knows why the hell he's there.
Right.
And he gave $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. This is just one of many. There's another FBI investigation going on linked to Clinton.
Right.
I just think that, the FBI is basically, if they don't do anything, that Clinton has basically done a number on them to where the entire planet is saying, wow, okay, she's untouchable. And she's more powerful than the FBI. She's more powerful than the American intelligence community. So I don't think that's going to go down like that. I think the FBI is going to recommend indictments. There's so much evidence, and I'm later in the show, I can go throughout everything. But I just think when people say, well, the Department of Justice won't follow through, it doesn't matter at this point. If the FBI recommends it, that's it. It's done. Her campaign is done because you have the FBI saying, hey, our year-long investigation came out with criminal activity. You can't put this person in the White House because guess what, Tim? She's going to have a private server in the White House. Okay? She'll have her White House private server.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Actually, did you hear her speech? Well, I'll ask you because maybe you did. Did you hear her speech today regarding the Orlando Massacre?
I didn't hear the speech. I know that she spoke, but I didn't hear it. What did she talk? She
very
talked
good. look, very good for you, first of all, AJ, because it was long, it was boring, it was uninspiring, it was everything Clinton is, which is not, nothing solid, nothing really to go on. She blamed guns, and I understand, her rhetoric on guns. I get it. It's a fear tactic. But the thing that really got me was one point in her speech. She says, this guy shouldn't have been able to get a gun because it was a criminal investigation going on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I read about that. yeah. I read about that. The FBI investigation. Okay. Oh my God, it all comes full circle, doesn't it, Tim? Oh my God.
Does. Oh man,
my God.
The pot calling the kettle pot. I don't know.
You know what I say is that if she won't be, because the FBI is going to recommend indictments, but if she is ever sworn in, everybody better take 10 steps away, because lightning will strike right there. Because if she puts her hand on the Bible, boom, lightning right there.
Right there.
But the thing is, this tragedy that took place in Orlando, number one, this is what people need to focus on. Before anything else, before guns, before terrorism, it's a hate crime, an anti-gay violence. It's an anti-gay hate crime. The man, the psychotic, insane lunatic, went in to kill gay people.
Right.
So it's an example, a horrific example of anti-gay violence, homophobia, beyond anything anybody can imagine. I mean, this guy snapped. And the next thing is number one, it's about violence against gay people. He was number two. We don't know why we have this mass shooting epidemic. We don't know. We don't even ask the most relevant question. What makes people snap? What makes people go from, okay, I have grievances, I don't like my life, I have stress, and I'm depressed, to I'm going to shoot up and destroy the lives of as many people as I can.
Right.
Now, you can go, there are enough illegal guns in America, illegal guns, to arm a small nation.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and buy an illegal gun, just like you could go get heroin, and you can get anything illegal you want.
Right.
And these shooters are not stupid. I mean, if they wanted to get a gun, I'm not saying that assault rifles, I don't think assault rifles should be, available. Right. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like the right says, no, it's, gun rights. The left says, take away the guns and it won't happen. Nobody is asking, how does a person snap? What takes place? Now, this guy, obviously he hated gay people. Obviously he wanted to make a statement. Now they say terrorism, they say anybody can claim that, and maybe he obviously had a history where he was affiliated or some connection to terrorism. Right. I mean, the FBI, had him in their sights. The thing with this guy is he probably did it and then boom, said, yeah, I'm doing it for ISIS. Because you know what, anyone could do something crazy.
Yeah, anyone can do that.
Yeah, and then claim, terrorism.
Right.
But my thing is, number one, this guy hated gay people. We have a lot of homophobia in our country, even to this day. And I'm going to bring it up. And I know the Clinton supporters you're politicizing this. In 2000, it took Hillary Clinton up until 2013 she opposed gay marriage up until 2013. Now, what does that tell you about Clinton? Now, let's say, heaven forbid, Clinton could ever go out on a limb and ever stand for some principle, right?
Never happen. Right.
It's never going to happen, right? It's always a very, very weird, warped, kind of centrist type weird thing where she's either conservative or she's so centrist, you might as well be conservative. And so I don't know anyone who's progressive or liberal or Democrat. I do not know a Democrat who opposed gay marriage in 2013. That's crazy. But of course, you know what Hillary Clinton did? Had she said, you know what, I'm going to stand on principle. I'm going to, work for gay rights long before it's popular.
Right.
It would have changed the culture in America. And I'm not tying in directly this guy to Clinton's decision. What I'm saying is, when you have the Democrat opposing gay marriage up until 2013, the Republicans are 10 times worse. You have a climate where, it promotes that kind of hatred.
Right.
And this guy, who knows from his background or whatever, could have also had that kind of bias and that kind of dislike. But my thing is, he wanted to kill gay people, and that's what needs to be talked about.
And we're kind of looking at the tools in which he used to do it, as opposed to what really made the gear shift in his head to do the action. And I'll tell you this. Now, this is something I just found out before the show. Apparently, he made several trips to that gay club, AJ.
Wow.
Several, like over 10 times he went to the club. And I saw an interview with his ex-wife who said, yeah, I don't know if he was gay or not. He used to, he had some pictures of him, partying back in the day, doing some stuff that may be kind of questionable. So that kind of plays into what you're saying, HA. And you didn't even know about it, that this man may have himself had gay tendencies and maybe hated himself or shunned himself. And this was a way of, this lure that's attracting me. I must kill these people because they're driving me to do this thing, which goes against my beliefs or my faith or whatever. And that also may be part of like society, like saying, this thing is so horrible, that this is that now that this thing has become a part of you, you need to do something sort of, I don't know, aggressive. I don't know, man. Like, dude was a maniac.
Yeah,
definitely.
No.
But I think you may see where I'm going. Where maybe this self-hatred was seething. Like he felt he had to, do something about. I don't know, man. But
and if he went to the gay club 10 times, I mean, it's very plausible that there's something else going on where, like you said, maybe he didn't want to believe the reality of who he was. Right. But I think that's very plausible. I didn't hear that. I just heard that right now. I think also one thing is, like, Trump is going to go ahead and say, okay, terrorism.
Right.
Now, it's only a matter of time before. Didn't Clinton say recently radical Islam right after the shooting? Something like that. Clinton said something to the effect that she tried to pander to conservatives or whatever, independents, saying that, it's about terrorism and all that stuff. My thing is this. When Bush in 2001 said, okay, we're going to fight them over there. We're not going to fight them here. We'll fight them over there so they don't come here. You can't the Sandy Hook shooting wasn't linked to ISIS, but it was the definition of terrorism. It was the definition of terror. You can't get more terror than what happened in Sandy Hook or what happens in a mass shooting,
right?
Or Virginia Tech. And so the thing is, the whole concept of these wars where we have to kill ISIS. Yeah, that's a genocidal group, but ISIS didn't exist before the Iraq War. So the thing is, we go into Iraq to make us safer. Everything takes place where, and guess who voted? Clinton, Bush, all these, and she still has neoconservative, and she pushed for Libya, she pushed for the coup in Honduras. So she's a big time hawk, but she doesn't learn from her mistakes. She's just basically saying, hey, I'm tough, vote for me. Now you have these horrendous mass shootings where the whole point of our endless wars are to keep us safer at home. But they don't keep us safer. They actually make us less safe. Because here we are, we're almost 7,000 Americans dead, 50,000 Americans wounded in combat, 1 million veterans wounded in both wars. We have a suicide epidemic, veteran suicide epidemic. We spent trillions of dollars. She wants to send more soldiers back. She said that after the Paris attacks. These wars don't make us safer at home. That's the thing.
They do not.
So my thing is, that's one of the biggest reasons I love Bernie, because Bernie Sanders says, you know what, I have enough of these endless wars. I've seen what takes place with veterans. And Clinton is like completely oblivious. To her, it's just, a game. I'm just going to put a donor on an advisory board that advises me on nuclear strategy. Why not? And her thing is, I'm going to continue to push for neoconservative foreign policy. And Tim, one of the biggest threats to our democracy is the fact that there are not enough people like Tim Black, or Benjamin Dixon or me or other people to saying, wait a second, let's hold these progressive writers accountable. Everyone has given up on foreign policy. When you talk about progressive media, almost everyone has given up. If you say to a Hillary supporter, hey, Clinton is a neocon, they tune out. They don't care. They don't care that she wants to send more Americans back.
Right.
And I think
they're all
that's
wrapped
horrible.
up they're all wrapped into the issue of it being the first female president and not looking at what she stands for, what her policies are, what her track record is. I think that's just as important. And look, I get it. I understand the relevancy and the significance of the first female president or nominee. I get it, but we can't overlook what she's going to do once she gets the job. Like that has to be important, right? Like we do have to admit that evil or bad intentions or bad policies can exist in anyone, in any gender. So it's as if, we'll just get her in there, and regardless to what she does, it can't be any worse than what Obama's done or what Bush has done. No, it actually it could be. It could be.
It's going to be. First of all, I think that I'll say a couple things. One, about the whole first female president. Number one, in 1975, she was a criminal defense lawyer, and I'm not making this up. I mean, usually when you tell stories about when you talk about Clinton's past, it seems like one would be making these things up, but they are true. It's just they're so outlandish that people don't even. The fact that people don't care, it's like almost insane. In 1975. She defended a child rapist who was accused of raping a 12-year-old girl. This is the first female, potentially the first female president. During the trial or after the trial, she was interviewed. She's on tape. You can in the CBS. There's a CBS News link, and I put it in one of my segments. This is not some kind of conspiracy thing. This is a CBS News link. It definitely happened. She's on tape, laughing that the child rapist passed the polygraph test. She was laughing that she knew he was lying, but still passed a polygraph that's supposed to find out if someone's lying. And the victim, the girl, she's obviously an adult. CNN interviewed her, and she said, you know what, this person, it helped. It was part of the reason that, my life turned out, a certain way. Right. And so the thing is, then you have Hillary Clinton pushing for the coup in Honduras. Why is that relevant to being the first female president? There was an indigenous rights activist and environmental activist, a very, very courageous woman named Berta Cáceres.
Right.
She was assassinated in her home by the security forces from the regime that Hillary Clinton helped install. Okay, and then of course there's Saudi Arabia, and just recently, I believe in Saudi Arabia, women were allowed to vote and drive a car. This is just recently.
Just very recently. In fact, Trump's hitting her on it right now. Trump's talking about it on his Facebook page. Hillary takes all this money in the Clinton Foundation from Saudi Arabia and other countries where women are basically slaves. And they don't have rights. And she should have to give that money back. But for some reason, these people, like you say, these progressive media outlets or whatever, they're not progressive. They just have the name. I don't even think they themselves would hold themselves up to be progressive. But I would say left, supposedly left, like MSNBC. Yes. Yeah, left wing. They're horrible, man. They don't want to cover it, AJ. They're not talking about it. And it's not, look, AJ, it's not just mainstream media. I don't have a lot of independent media that has the, support of the people talking about it to the extent that you and I talk about it.
No, and you know what the thing is? If, when you and I talk about it, we get heat for it, but the thing is, I know you don't care, and I don't care. And the thing is, we're growing. Well, you have a huge base of fans, but the thing is, I'm slowly growing, and you and I'm taking your model is basically go ahead, speak the truth, and if people want to listen, great, they're going to listen to you. If people want to watch, Rachel Maddow print out papers and say that Clinton, yes, she needed a private server because the printer wasn't working. And you know what? You can't print out too many papers because the Freedom of Information Act, printer cartridges are too expensive. So we can't do that, And so that's the thing. I mean, and the thing is this, my whole thing is when President Obama, when he battled against Clinton and she used racism against him with a racist 3 a.m. ad and a whole bunch of other things.
Right.
He was against the Iraq war. He hit her hard on the Iraq war. He got her hard. Okay. One of the things I loved about Obama was, he said the Iraq war was a stupid thing to do. Okay. Then now during his administration, he sent American soldiers back to Iraq. He just recently sent soldiers back to Syria. He kept soldiers. We still have soldiers in Afghanistan. We still have those 2 wars. They're ongoing. And the thing is, it's like when you see in the 60s people, the progressives or liberals protesting Vietnam, they cared about that because they knew people going to Vietnam. They knew people dying. They had family members dying. It was personal. Nowadays, if you tell a Hillary supporter, and I have debated millions of them, right? They don't care about war. They don't care about foreign politics.
It's the strangest thing, HA. I don't understand it, brother. I don't. You give them facts, HA, and it's like they're flame retarded.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, and I think some people are afraid of the Clintons, even though they're not even in the realm of the Clintons. Like they're afraid. Like if they say something bad, even if it's true. Yeah. Somehow something's gonna come get him, like the boogeyman. Yeah. Candyman. Oh, don't say it again. Hillary. They're just some punk asses, HA. And just on that point, Muhammad Ali, for instance, you look at some of that old footage of Muhammad Ali,
big time,
bold, telling the truth, telling his truth, what he believes, what's going on, his dissent, and it cost him 3 years of his life.
Yep.
At the top of his game. Yep. We have journalists who won't do that, HA.
Exactly.
That's their job to do that.
And that's the thing. You look at Muhammad Ali. Why was he great? He obviously was the greatest boxer, but what made him so great was the fact that he put his principle above the paycheck. He put his principle above his career, and he said, "I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sacrifice for what I believe in." Now we're so jaded in our country that you don't even have to sacrifice. Like you said, you could just say the truth, and people are so brainwashed because they say, oh no, but Trump is the alternative. Yeah, but you know what? Trump's going to go golfing with Bill if he gets in the White House or if he doesn't. So if it's a Trump White House, guess who's golfing with him one day? Bill Clinton. If it's a Clinton White House, guess who's golfing with Bill? Trump. And that's why I think, the FBI, and real quick, for your viewers, some crazy developments. Okay, so in addition to, this is why the FBI, I think the FBI is waiting for DC because they don't want to take any heat for tipping the scales. We have till July 25th, a contested convention, and the progressive media, quote unquote, never brings up a criminal investigation of the person that they think is qualified. This is insane. It's insane. You couldn't become a teacher, a financial advisor. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't get a job at McDonald's. If you want to get a job at McDonald's, you said FBI criminal investigation. Because
get Get your ass out of here. I know you're not wasting my time putting in this. When you want to work the fries, you need to go work that FBI investigation.
Exactly.
And come back. It's it's just hypocrisy. Hypocrisy of our democracy, HA. Crazy.
Exactly. And so President Obama, I talked about this in one of my segments. People say, well, he endorsed Clinton. What do you want Obama to say? That I don't want this liar, this corrupt criminal that who used racism against me. who ruined my legacy because she couldn't type an email without an FBI criminal investigation, someone who was wrong on everything foreign policy wise, someone who was to the right of me on the environment, on Wall Street, on war and foreign policy, to the right of me, would ruin my legacy. He can't say that.
Yes, he can. He can't say it, AJ, because he's the damn president.
He is the president, but I tell you, it's like the Democrats, Republicans, like two big gangs. So loyalty. It's like they swore an loyalty oath, right? They're loyal to each other, but just like in criminal organizations, you have a mafia, whatever. They're loyal, but on the down low, things going on. I think that President Obama. I know a lot of people say no. It's like, I think President Obama. This is his administration. This is his FBI. This is his Justice Department. This is going on all under his watch. Okay, he knows that he's going to take a lot of criticism. He wants to have a library. He wants to have a normal life.
He wants to have some money, like Bill Clinton, like he said, he wants to stack that money, and when he leaves, he said get the Benjamins, get the Benjamins.
Exactly. And so he knows that he has to nip this thing in the bud when it comes to Clinton's FBI criminal investigation, because the Republicans are not going to stop. The next question is why did Obama let her have the server? That's the next question nobody's asked.
It's logical. I mean, it's like, you worked for him. Does your boss know?
Exactly.
And she's gonna throw him under the bus. She has to. She will.
Exactly. She will throw him under the bus the second she gets indictments. And the big thing that came out recently, in addition to WikiLeaks coming out with a whole bunch of emails about her and basically kind of almost proving that an indictment has to happen, but a CNN article recently kind of went under the radar. Nobody talked about it, but it's huge. Judicial Watch is, a group basically suing the State Department for her emails and basically under the Freedom of Information Act and other aspects of what she was doing. They said to the State Department during a deposition, the State Department, they said, "We want to know who used her server and when." Tim, the State Department, this isn't a CNN article, I put it in one of my segments. The State Department said, "We don't know who used her server and when because we had no access to her server. So don't come to us." Meaning, get off my, the State Department saying, get off my back,
right? Because
we're done with this. You can have fun with anyone else, meaning, hint, hint, President Obama is the next person, obviously the higher up beyond the State Department. But the State Department said, I wipe my hands of all this stuff. We're done. We already said she broke guidelines and rules. We don't know anything about the server. This is only the first inning. So when people say, even first of all, indictments are imminent, but even if, let's just say, Clinton became president, every single day of her presidency would be a controversy, a scandal, an email update, a foundation update, some guy who gave money who's now advising on Ebola or tactical nuclear weapons or ISIS or whatever. And it's because you're talking about somebody so corrupt who lies all the time. And like you said, Tim, people love it. Her supporters love it. They think it's power. They think that it's political power. They love it.
Yeah,
that's gonna come screeching to a halt very soon, I think.
Yeah, they have a very warped view of what power is, and I think they just live vicariously through Clinton. Like, I would love to be powerful like her and do whatever I want to do. You go, girl, and I'm with you. And I saw a guy at a Clinton thing. It was only like 20 people there at her rally. He had pictures of Clinton all over his shirt, and I'm like, how much did they pay this guy to do this? And the same thing, these Clinton trolls, they're still out there, HA. They're still lurking. I mean, they don't have a lot to do now. Because they consider her, the winner. And they're still counting those 2.5 million. Do you know where we are with the 2.5 million ballots in California?
Well, the provisional ballots all thrown away, no exit poll. Debbie Lusignan, who's an amazing, powerful voice, I might be on her show very soon. Basically, she's covered the election fraud from top to bottom. And there's some crazy things going on. I'll just add something that a lot of people aren't talking about. In 2008, David Plouffe, who was a campaign manager for President Obama, for Barack Obama at that time, who now works for Clinton. There's an Atlantic article saying Obama campaign complains of widespread dirty politics in 2008. Guess where? In Nevada. And he talks about 200 separate incidents of voting irregularities and fraud. That's in 2008. So when people say, "Oh, well, it wasn't rigged," well, you know, there's already President Obama already dealt with the craziness with Clinton. He wasn't even on the Michigan ballot, and you have a superdelegate who is apparently a commodities trader turned nuclear strategist, who is a superdelegate. So this guy gives money. He has nothing to do with politics. He's a superdelegate who is going to decide your future, my future, by voting for the next president. She doesn't have 2,383 pledged delegates. And think about that. Bernie's taken it to the contested convention. She had decades of universal name recognition. Right. This guy, Bernie Sanders, and like you said, this guy, Bernie Sanders, comes, he goes with principle, values. He says he's unapologetic, and he gets well over, 12, 13 million votes, or 12 million votes. He forces her to the convention because she couldn't even get the pledged delegates needed to truly, end the primary. Right. The FBI is going to vote. The FBI primary is around the corner. So from now until July 25th, all Bernie has to do is wait. If anyone, I always say this, if anyone is in the Bernie Sanders campaign, they're watching. If there's anyone advising Bernie Sanders, that person should be fired right then and there, because you don't leave when your opponent is under FBI criminal investigation. You don't leave.
Yeah, you just stay put. Hunker down.
Exactly.
I know you're getting close to that time to leave. I got a couple questions for you. I think they're probably directed to you. Linda Crump, let me select her question. She says she just allows the money. She just always follows the money. Isn't she wrapped up with the military industry?
Well, Clinton is advised by the same people who advised George W. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, and she's advised by Henry Kissinger, and all those people are linked to the military, industrial complex. So, I mean, the money. She even said that Iraq was a business opportunity eventually. I mean, this is the type of thing. I mean, there's nothing. I have yet to have anyone say that her foreign policy was good in any way. No one ever says that. No. But yeah, I mean, she always follows the money. The Clintons are about, that foundation is going to be the undoing of the Clinton dynasty, because they haven't had a traditional audit. So there's a guy named Charles Ortel, and he's an investigative journalist. He's also has a financial background. He actually investigated the books of what you can see, all the numbers and everything that the Clinton Foundation kind of shows the public, and because it's a charity, right? And he found out that they've never had a traditional audit that charities have. B, like less than 10% of all the money, only 10% goes to charity work. Everything else, this is a multi-billion-dollar organization. Everything else it's kind of like a money laundering scheme.
Yeah, so, exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, she follows the money. And that's the thing. I mean, the money it's really funny because I'm published in the Huffington Post, Salon, The Hill, other places. And so a lot of times when I write my articles, it's 100% Bernie. And then boom, I'm, explaining that Clinton did this, and that. And then there's a Ready for Hillary banner ad. Right,
right next to you, right.
So it's kind of funny, but you know what? She has the money for that. She has the money for that because, like your caller said, it's all about money for both Clintons, which is why they're in bed with Trump. It's just, if you see, just imagine a bed and it's Trump, Clinton, and Bill. Trump, Hillary, and Bill in bed with each other. That's it.
Nasty.
Because it is nasty.
I gotta know. Oh, okay. That was the same. Well, if Hillary gets indicted, how does Barack tiptoe back out of his endorsement so he doesn't look so stupid?
Oh no, he doesn't have to tiptoe. This is the thing. He's not going to look stupid. And that's a great question. He's not going to look stupid. This is like a Game of Thrones thing. Look, President Obama, he said that he didn't know about her server up until 2015. So nobody knew anything. Okay. Right. So he didn't know. And so all he has to say is, hey, I didn't know. This is crazy. What? And then he goes and he says, you know what? In light of the new evidence, I'm just going to have to follow justice. And I'll say this. President Obama will be remembered forever by all the big progressive movements growing. Okay, he's going to be remembered forever by saving us from this overt criminal in Hillary Clinton. I mean, he would literally save the country. I mean, this person is going to have a private server in the White House. She's going to put people who have no business advising her on nuclear weapons. I mean, it's shady, it's criminal, it's overt. So I think that Obama needs this for his legacy. I really do. And when everyone is saying something, Tim, when everyone is saying, there was a book written, I believe it was in the 1920s, and it's called The Intelligent Investor by, I believe it's Benjamin Graham, or one of the people who influenced all the top investors, Warren Buffett. Okay. And this was in the 1920s. He said, when the doorman is giving stock tips, sell. Meaning when everyone is saying, hey, you should buy, sell. Okay. When everyone is saying, nah, Obama will never do it. No, Loretta Lynch will never do it. And it's not really a bad thing to follow the law. Like, it's not like Obama is going to do something bad by following the law.
Right.
People assume that, hey, that's politics. That's this, that's that. Yeah. He'll never do it. She's guilty. He needs it for his legacy. Everyone's saying it. Even a guy, a 20-year-old kid the other day at the coffee shop said, no, the FBI would have done it already. I said, the FBI is going to do it in about a couple weeks. Because if this kid is saying this at a coffee shop, the opposite's going to take place. So I think we just got to be patient.
Yeah, we do, man. I think that it's coming. I believed it from day one, man. And people need to just get their heads out their butts and stop saying, well, if the Republicans are saying it, it must not be true. Listen, man, we need to stop thinking that everything is Democrat or Republican. Some things are just what they are. I mean,
exactly.
Corruption is corruption regardless of who's doing it. We see now voter suppression. Wake up, Democrats. Yes, that was your party. Yes, it affected Democratic candidate. And I just want to add before we go, man, one of the things that really troubles me is this is our shot. Democrats don't realize this is your shot to maintain your party because we're out of there. I mean, and I say we, I mean, I know I speak for a lot of people who are done with them based on what we've experienced in this election. It's really a shame that they have betrayed us to this extent. And there's really no going back. The only way we can go back is if all these the CNNs, the MSNBCs, and actually, I'm glad you mentioned a couple of good articles from CNN that I hadn't paid attention to. So that's pretty cool. But they need to come out now because that party's slipping away. HI,
it's slipping, and you know what? If it's Clinton Trump, I think Trump wins because the thing is, every day it's going to be emails. Every day it's going to be a scandal. And Trump, we already know he's nuts. We already know, like, there's no, this guy is, he's a character.
Right. What did he say today? What did he say today? Did he? I know he said something crazy today, didn't he? He had to say something crazy today.
He always says something crazy. But you know what the thing is? Clinton, she barely beats him in the polls.
Right.
She doesn't keep polling leads. I'm writing in Bernie if it's not Bernie. And I do believe Tim, I believe it's going to be Bernie who takes it to the he saves the Democratic Party. I believe it's all going to go down this way. So at the end of the day, I think Bernie's going to do it.
Well, look, man, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your participation. HA, as usual, my brother. Tell these people how to find you, because we need to blow you up. We need to. You said you said you need to get a larger audience. Well, hell, guys, give HA a larger audience, please.
You know what, Tim? I really appreciate being on your show, and I actually just surpassed 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, man.
Go find HA on YouTube. HA Goodman. You can't miss it. It's that simple. And you go find him on Twitter as HA Goodman Author. And Facebook, you find him as HA Goodman, I think. And find him on the web at HA Goodman. Everything is HA Goodman. Unlike me, he's very consistent with his naming.
Tim, thank you so much. Hey, if you want me next week, I'm here. Anytime you want me, I love your show, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Now, you damn right we want you back, man. HA, you are a guy, man. So take care. All right, now. You got it, brother. Hey, man. Hey, look, guys, look. That was a great episode, man. Always great talking to HA. We always have a great chemistry and always tell the truth. You just witnessed the first edition of No Sellout. That's right. We don't sell out here. If you sell out, we break the hell out. I'm your host, Tim Black. I'm trying to decide if we're going to do phone calls tonight. It's getting a little late. I don't know. Look, do me a favor. Go to IamTimBlack.com. That's where the channel is, and I will update you. Let me get this thing done here, wrapped up here, and then we'll go do some streaming. I want to find a way to bring the chat room here. I haven't found it. I know it's got to be available. Anyone who knows how we can bring the chat to the Google Hangout, let me know, because people love the chat feature on the regular YouTube channel that we stream from. And this is not really getting it done. You feel me? All right, guys. Oh, my condolences, and I'm sure HA shares it. Our condolences to the survivors and to the family members who lost friends and family at the tragic events in Orlando. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time. Feel the burn. And no selling out. I'm out.